Namaste and welcome, beloved mighty companions, to the holy circle of light. We're really here to welcome each other to the light. Our only function is to welcome everyone to the light. How about that for function? Come on in. The water's fine. It's helpful to have a brother who says that and calls us in. Have a reflection where it's all is well and everything else is an idea that it isn't.
Yeah.
So today we called the mighties in to start with the light of infinite being. And I know many of you have been joining and hearing the Spirit and speaking the Spirit, and this is an opportunity really to continue hearing the voice for God and speaking the voice for God, letting God just flow through us so beautifully to celebrate infinite light. So we'll just be still for a moment and then invite whoever would feel that they're hearing something from Jesus for us to look at deeply with him. What miracles are we to perform today, Father, with you? This could be a really good session and an opportunity really to talk to Jesus about why not speak his voice.
Yeah, I was just hearing relishing fear.
Oh, relishing fear? Okay, do you want to look at that deeply?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the desire to relish fear of speaking. And then just speaking, and there's no fear. There's no fear to speak. It's just natural. Feels very light. Very, like with everyone, it's just so inviting here. It's so gentle. So. Yeah, there's just this desire to build it up and make it this big deal in my mind, to anticipate something by speaking that's going to happen, something that's going to happen. I don't know what that is, but I really relish it because it just keeps me in fear.
And what does Jesus say below that?
Choice.
How is choice playing there?
Decision for another voice first, to be taken over or possessed by another voice, by the ego.
So let's ask Jesus, in the light of divine being, is there a desire below our level of awareness to be taken over by another voice? And just really see the wanting of it. Like he said, the deliciousness, actually, that's what we have to admit, how much we really like it when we say we don't, but we really do. Is he saying anything else about it?
No, just the light. There's no possession in the light. There's really no voice in the there's no concept of a voice. There's just the light.
So he's actually showing that there's no concept. The voice doesn't have a concept to it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no.
So what is he saying about the other voices?
It's just this. Yeah, they're all the same. They're all just an idea of like there being a barrier to God, to your true self. Just ideas. They're just ideas. Yeah. It's all the same. They're all the same.
Okay, is there anything else we need to look at, or does he want us to go deeper, really looking at?
We can go deeper.
Okay. Okay, and what is
For
he
sure.
telling us to look at?
Well, we're looking at choice and acceptance, how there's this desire to play, just I want to go to a story or something.
What's the desire under the story?
that nothing is there's something there, that even though it's, that there's just something. Hmm.
What is he saying about choice? Choice is a really good one to look at. What's that?
What is choice?
Yeah, he says, really look at choice, that wanting of choice. See, that's where the split is.
Yeah, I can just feel how that I just want to go to that. I just want to go to that. Cause and effect, and just like keeping those two apart. And just, not wanting, or the desire to deny sameness. And to give doubt power, and see how I want to give doubt power. Like that I could choose doubt somehow. I could choose to doubt myself if I want, but it's
Jesus, is there a desire below my level of awareness to doubt myself, to have an experience of doubting myself? It's a good one.
Yeah,
It's a good one to look at.
I really want it.
Yeah.
Really want to doubt myself.
Yeah, that's good. Look at the wanting. So be with the wanting. It's very helpful to be with that wanting energy and just let him show it to you fully. Oh, I want it. And when you say, okay, am I ready for a miracle? And he says, no, stay with them. Stay with them on the wanting and let that energy rise into awareness, see fully in awareness, so it's not running ramshod down there.
No, that's just, it would be doubting love is here. Which he knows. He says love is always here. It's just helpful to say it.
Yeah. To admit the denials.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear him saying, look at how much you want a choice not to be who you are. Jesus, is there a desire to have a choice not to be who I am? Alrighty. You start giggling in these sessions because you see what he's so right. Once again,
Right.
he's right. Are we ready for a miracle or do we go deeper?
I think we could go deeper. Really,
Okay.
there's still a little bit of energy there.
Okay, let's see.
Just, yeah.
Okay, what other desires, Jesus, what other desires do we need to see here to be released? To release ourselves from this self-imposed prison here. He says, stay with me on the desire to deny yourself. That's what he's saying here. Can you hear that? Yeah, stay with the
Yeah.
desire, the wanting to deny yourself through choice. Is that itch? He's really just showing us where all the guilty pleasures are. The pleasure of trying to usurp the power of God, and that's the guilty pleasure. See, I can one up infinite. Which is really, you can see in the light of divine being that's impossible. Yet the play is there as long as those energies, those desire energies are running out below awareness. So if he shows you one, just keep going until he says you're done. Are we done yet? No. I guess I know. Do you need to look deeper? You know when he's right. Okay, what do we need to look at?
It's just the holding on to that energy of being right, not wanting to be shown that I'm wrong, like so clearly. So there's a little pullback. It's like, oh, okay. So just to look at that.
And if you were shown you're wrong, what does that mean? What would that do?
Huh. I would be happy if I'm wrong.
So there's a desire for an experience where if you're shown you're wrong, that you'll suffer. Or just see, ask them. So I have a desire for an experience when I'm shown I'm wrong to believe I will suffer if I'm shown I'm wrong. You can feel it? Yeah. So can we ask for a miracle? Yeah, feels like a good miracle. Like a good miracle. He's given the kind of miracles that'll blow your doors off. Because we're accepting it fully. See, when it's seen through cleanly, it's gonna, he brings the sword all the way down to the roots of the tree.
Yeah, it feels very clear now.
Okay, feels clear. You can feel it, and everyone can feel it, because it's the one mind ceasing to deny light, that the light is here, and that no desire stands before the light. Thank you.
Thank you.
Feels good. Is anyone else hearing anything from Jesus for us to look at? Oh, thank you. Okay, Dennison and Christy, and then Mary. Okay, Dennis.
Well, what's been coming up
Thank
is
you.
specialness. That I want to be treated special. That I want people to make exceptions for me. Yeah, I want special deals. And I'm aggressive sometimes in getting special deals when it comes to buying things. And when I don't get those things, the whole gambit of rejection, abandonment, not being loved, not good enough, not worthy. All seems to boil down to.
So Dennis, go ahead.
Oh, it just all seems to boil down to wanting to be special.
And what does Jesus say about it?
All what comes to mind is I am special. I like that. I like the feeling. It's such a strong feeling, and it has a lot of joy and bliss and happiness when I'm greeted by somebody who loves me and joins with me, wants to join with me. So I think that's part of even though it seems positive, it seems like it's part of the reward I'm getting for being special. Seems to affirm a deep desire that I am somebody special. Because the dark side is that when I'm not treated special, I'm feeling really like garbage.
So there's a desire. Jesus, is there a desire below a level of awareness for an experience of feeling pleasure through specialness?
Yes. Yeah, that's very clearly obvious. Yeah.
And will he help us through it, Dennis? And what is he saying about that? What to look at to clear that from the subconscious mind?
Because I need that in order to not feel dead.
The belief, so that's the desired experience that you need specialness in order not to feel dead?
Yes, that's right.
So Jesus, is there a desire below our level of awareness to have specialness with the experience that we won't feel dead? In other words, that salvation is in specialness. Is that what he's showing?
Yeah, yeah. And that's why I desire it so strongly, and I seek it out. And I even, hard to admit, but I demand it.
It's a great admission.
Oh,
That's honesty. That's in the pocket of honesty of God for all of us.
oh, ouch. Oh, oh. Wow, I'm entitled to it, and damn it, it better come. Can't you see? I'm so special. Oh, what does it matter with you? You got to see it. You got to give it to me. It's my right. No wonder I have such problems with people who are feeling entitled, because I feel really entitled to being special. Because after all, I'm a victim. I'm a helpless victim. A lot of self-hate in that. Not that I'm feeling it, it's just that it's coming to my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I hate myself because I don't know. I hate myself.
So just ask Jesus if he will show you what's under the hate. Because what happens is the desire bifurcates like that. It's the desire for the experience of kind of being more or less than we are. That's what specialness is. And as soon as it bifurcates, it creates guilt, and then anger is going to try, and guilt are the cover over. So if we stay with that wanting, because there's innocence in the wanting. See, we can see we're innocence in wanting. And just be with that, oh, I like it. And ask Jesus, what's the most helpful way to move through and to release it to the miracle.
What comes up is that I'm okay. It's not very deep.
You're innocent. Ask Jesus, am I willing? Jesus, am I willing? Because it's for all of us. It's the play of consciousness. So there's no one doing it. And it's the total play. And every one of us can relate to this death wish. The beauty of this, it's showing directly the death wish, the upside down death wish through specialness. So once we look, it gets funny. We can see it's impossible to die this way.
Well, it started with crying, and then it became laughter. So.
Yes. What was your thought on that, Dennis? It's beautiful.
It's just a release. I think it's yeah. So letting it go. And it's also it's just the awareness that I am loved.
Oh.
So that combination of crying and laughter.
Yeah. It's beautiful. It is the release. All that pent up energy. It's beautiful. Does Jesus have anything else to say, Dennis, about it?
That he loves me. I love
Oh.
a lot of a lot of gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. It's so beautiful. Very grateful for your expression today.
Oh. Oh, yeah. Hmm. Oh.
This is what Jesus means at the whirlwind and happy laughter. It's beautiful.
Oh, wow. Thank you all. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, thank you, Dennis. Precious.
A lot of light here.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, a lot of light here. This is the powerful constellation. Thank you, Jesus. Amen. Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Wow. You go right to light. You look straight at those desires, you go right to light with him when Jesus will bring you right in. to see that it can never happen for us not to be wholly whole and complete. Christy, did you still feel to speak? Okay.
Okay. You can hear me?
See,
Okay. What seems to be coming up is a desire to miscreate that someone or something outside of myself can block me from heaven or steal heaven from me. And specifically, there seems to be someone or something is violent and or also sexually inappropriate. I think the word lewd has come in before. Yeah, and that seems to be blocking heaven.
so what does Jesus say the specific desire is below that?
A desire for judgment, a desire for there to be good and bad. Like for there to seem that like the other is bad and that somehow makes me good, like putting bad outside of myself. Yeah, to be split.
Jesus, is there a desire below my level of awareness to be right, that there's something outside of me? Just that wanting to be right, that there's someone outside of me.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing to really look at as a desire to be right, that there's something else.
And what is Jesus saying about it?
I was actually having to try and go under some nausea coming in, like I guess unwillingness to look.
We can ask for a miracle on the looking, to open up the desire, to the more willingness to look.
Okay.
Jesus, can we have a miracle just to open up the looking at a deeper level?
what's coming up is it's what was coming up in circle this morning, or one of the things that came up, a desire for there to be darkness.
Yeah, so this is one of the ways the ego's using to prove darkness exists. And be right, the darkness is true. There's a lot of love behind this one. This release. So the ego's going to really want to hold on to that. So just ask Jesus if he'll step you through it one step at a time and help you through what, because he's helping all of us really through you.
Yeah, there's really a desire, like, just to keep proving that, like, I'm darkness, that I'm not the light. Yeah.
Jesus, is there any desire for an experience to prove we're not the light by darkness below our level of awareness? Hmm.
Yeah. Now I at least can see a willingness to look at that I want to just keep proving that I'm not the light through darkness. Or, yeah, through miscreating darkness. And I admit that I really want to prove I'm not the light through miscreating darkness. Jesus, will you help me to see through this? Yeah, he says to just notice every time that I'm trying to prove I'm not the light, and just look at it with him to see that it can't be true. It feels really good because I feel like there's been a lot of trying to prove that I'm not the light going on. And right now I can feel that there is light and that I am light.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that miracle with us. It's so beautiful.
Thank you. All my brothers. Thank you.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you for speaking, Jesus. Just speaking the truth that we can speak to him very easily, and he will lead us through. Amen. Mary, would you like to still speak today?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So Jesus has been talking to me about my desire to look outward for happiness, that I think it's outward, and my desire to control the miracle. Oh, I admit the desire to wanting to control the miracle. Oh, geez. There sure doesn't seem to be very much squeak room right there.
That's good for everyone to look. That's a great one. Jesus, is there any desire below my level of awareness to control the miracles?
Like, I know what it looks like, and I know what I need to do to make it happen. Oh, I'm so grateful to be able to say this right here with all these beautiful mighties, because I've been going like a ping pong ball all morning. um, there's just so much love, and I don't want to accept it. I admit, and it is all around me. It's showing up everywhere, and I'm like, no, no.
And what does Jesus say about that, Mary?
Well, he's being rather blunt. He's saying, shut up. Shut up that voice. Don't listen to it. Just don't listen to it. Dismiss it. It's not true. And he's telling me I'm walking around acting as if all the voices in my head are true. And there's no way for love to get in if I'm wacko. He's telling me love is all there is. I don't have to run away from it. I just have to stop.
It feels like there's something else he wants us to see, Mary. What's he saying?
He's saying, I don't know what it is. I don't know what love is. There's there is a desire for the experience, and there's a still a thinking I know what it is, and that when I stand in when there's just standing in nothing, and there's not the willingness yet to stand in the nothing.
And what's the belief would happen if you did?
There's a belief that everything would fall apart.
Jesus, do I have a desire for an experience of everything falling apart so I won't see who I am?
There's a belief that I think I have to keep it together. I admit the desire that I have to keep it together. And that it's very alone. Isolated. And I won't give it up. I don't want to give it up. I don't want to give up my suffering.
How is salvation being found through suffering?
Means I'm right.
Mm. Mm. And what does he say is the best way through this?
To look at it. He's saying you really want to suffer? Then he's saying, go for it. What does that get you? More suffering. Jesus, am I ready for a miracle? He says, not yet. I really don't want to look at it. I especially don't want to look at it right now with all of you. I'm like squirming.
Yeah, do you feel like you could ask him for a miracle to open up the willingness? Like he said, let the Holy Spirit decide for me. Was there willingness for that, do you feel?
There's a softening and a gentleness. I can't even describe it. Yeah. Yeah, I feel lighter about it. Like there's kind of it's just kind of like really ludicrous that I want suffering over, I want to choose suffering over not suffering, over ceasing to suffer. What a concept. And that's it. What a concept. Wow. It's a concept. And am I willing to let go of that concept?
Sometimes we have to see the death wish in the concept before we'll let it go.
Yeah. I want to admit the desire for the death wish.
And he'll show us the death wish if we ask him, say, Jesus, will you show me the death wish? Because that will flip when we see the death. Because see, the way the ego plays through salvation, through suffering, or these other things, it's the conviction that salvation lies in that experience. We can ask Jesus, no, Jesus, show me where death wish is in that suffering. Show me that that's really death to life, let death to myself. And then I'm choosing death to myself. The luscious nature of suffering. The guilty pleasure of suffering. And sometimes that's just what it takes, that direct looking with him. To see that, yes, there is a belief that suffering brings salvation. That's that piece of personal identity. That's why it seems like glue through the miscreation that it's salvation.
Wow. Wow. I can get it. I don't know that I've totally let go of it yet.
Well, you can ask Jesus.
He says I haven't let go of it yet.
Okay. Does he say to go further today?
No.
Feels like you can just let it rest. He'll lead us down through the maze.
Yes.
Thank you, Mary. See, there are
Thank
times.
you.
This is a beautiful example. Thank you too, because it's also, he knows when the miracles are best and how, which ones, and when, we have to, he's in control of the cantonment this way. Otherwise the ego would take over and start going, oh, Jesus, I have something else to see. No, he's in control of the atonement this way.
That's perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, thank you, Mary. Otherwise, the
Thank
ego,
you.
the ego's like, well, you didn't go all the way, See the play, see the death march on either side. The band's going on both sides with the ego, Love you, Mary.
Love you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, Irene, did you?
Oh, okay.
No.
She just put her hand up.
Yeah, we're just going to wait 30 seconds. It's a
Oh,
little time. We're just going to give a little time in between each one.
Yeah. She put her-
Is anyone else hearing anything from the Holy Spirit that wants to come through you? Any desires to look at? Okay, Marguerite. Okay. Thank you, Marguerite.
Thank you. So what came up today for me, just the desire to constantly have an experience of being rejected. And okay, he's telling me to start with something else. Okay. This morning I woke up, and the moment I opened my eyes, I heard, "You don't change anything about the character, this character. You don't have to change anything." And that felt really good. But then the ego kicked in, the beliefs kicked in, and they were just looking straight at self-hatred. And just such a desire to reject myself. I would even say, like, feel pity for myself. And just feeling miserable. And just now he said, okay, I want you to speak. I want you to say this. And then he was giving me straight away the desire not to trust the process. He said, say that. I don't want to trust the process at all right now. Yeah, like the no feels huge at the moment. Just like, no, absolutely no way. I'd rather destroy the whole world than go with you right now. Such a deep feeling of destruction coming up, just such resistance.
So just stay with the desire for it. Stay with the desire for that experience. Stay with the desire for the no. It's okay. That's what it's for. So we can see how deep this desire goes with him and let it burn out in the light.
I know that the light's not fearful at all, yet it feels quite fearful what's coming up. I'm like
Just stay on.
smoking hot right now. Everything is
Just stay
smoking.
with Jesus. Stay with Jesus. You can hear him. Just tune into his voice. Stay with him. You hear him clearly. He's with you the whole way on this gig. And go to the desire. Be with the desire for that fear, just wanting of it. See the itch. The pleasure in it.
Okay. Yes, I have to admit it. That's the only way.
You hear him so clearly, Marguerite. Let him just walk you hand in hand out of this.
Keep wanting to run though. It's okay. I don't know how to say it, but I'm like such deep suffering and hatred and rejection. Those, I don't know why, those that
As we're really starting to go deep into the desire for those experiences. So it's really important to stay with the desire with him and let him keep you underneath all of that, all of the fear, all the suffering. He'll keep you underneath it if you stay with the wanting of it. See that with the wanting, you cannot experience fear. Ask Jesus. Fear is an interpretive function within consciousness. That's a desire. So if we stay with the desire before that blooms into an experience, then the desire itself will burn out in light.
there's such a belief about this still, like looking at this, like and it's probably repeating itself because it'll probably say it the next time too if I haven't clearly looked at it. But like, this is too much devastation to look at.
So just remember, he's not asked, see if is the light asking you to look on devastation?
No, it's asking me to stay with the light. I keep hearing the desire, and like I'd rather kill the whole world than
Yes.
go with you.
We could admit it. See, this is the admission of the denial of divinity. We'd rather kill the whole world. We wanted to create it and kill it. Just so we don't have to look directly to see that the light's the only thing there is. So that's great. That's honesty of God, wanting to kill the world. This is where we really have to get to the seeing. To admit it, Jesus, do I really have an itch to kill the world? But he knows he has your trust now, so there's enough spaciousness to look at this. Not at the destruction. See, he's not just seeing that the desire for the experience, that we're powerful enough of infinite being to let that desire rise into awareness. So it doesn't split consciousness into fragments anymore. So we don't feel fragments. So it's actually unification. That's what the ego's screaming about right now. You can ask Jesus.
Yeah, he's saying right now that you need to admit that you need my help more than ever now. You really you can't do any of this like by yourself. Before it was like sometimes toe dipping. He says you have to admit that you really, really, really need my help. And I still want to play in that yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. So there's a desire to not really say, yes, I fully need your help. I'm still denying. Just wanting to be right is so painful right now. Just having a judgment about something, it goes straight to hatred. And so I can feel how I still want to do this myself. And it's just not. Yeah, the desire to be right again. Yeah, just you don't want to trust the desire not to trust the process is the most important one right now, I hear.
Yes.
You don't want to, the desire to not to want to trust the process. He says that's all inclusive. If you trust the process, it's all inclusive. So I asked him if we can look at that desire right now. He said yes. Do you hear him say anything? Because I'm like,
Yes, I hear,
going-
I hear the same thing, to look directly with him at this. Not trusting, because the not trusting, it's not trusting. Trust, not trust comes up over concepts. See that the light doesn't know what trust is. So the ego creates a conceptual idea of what not to trust and then goes, I just don't trust that, without it ever being looked at directly to see that it's just a concept being held in the mind. So if you just be with the desire for that concept, then Jesus can show you. It's really the self concept. It's a tricky way that the ego holds on to the self concept and says it doesn't trust the process, but really what it is, it creates a concept not to trust in order not to see divine light here now.
he says, you're denying my help. You're denying. I'm saying, Jesus, I am smoking here. Like, he says, you're denying my help. You're denying my help.
It's, yes, he loves you anyway. It's just a piece of personal identity. Just ask him for a miracle. Ask him if you can have a miracle just so that you can ask for his help.
He says, so now you calm down. Yeah. He says, now look at not trusting the desire for experience, not trusting the process. I think I have to admit that I'm not willing or something.
What do you believe it'll mean if you do trust it?
I'm just so afraid of that joy. That's what I believe.
Who's afraid of it? Is the light afraid of it?
No.
So see, let him show you how that's upside down.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the light we fear or the fear of loss of personal identity and consciousness, the play of consciousness?
Yes, personal identity, for sure. Yes, I literally hear like, then I will not be in control anymore. And thinking that is beyond scary.
That's why it's really, really important on these things as we get deeper into the mind with Jesus to stay, glued to him, stapled, and two, stay at the level of desire. Because otherwise we've gone too far into the split and then we're running around and we can't hear him as well. So just ask him what desire to look at, and just go for the gusto and look and see if it can do anything to infinite light.
He said the main desire is just your desire to be right.
Yes.
Yes, and he's telling me to look again with what's been said now, and then see how the flip is constantly given. So that I don't have to stay in the upside down position. Yes, he says it is all about trusting, though. It's all about trusting.
See that your trusted self.
Oh yeah, I can see that now. But you gotta step back, otherwise you don't see it. The moment I step back, I see it, but when I get involved, he says, don't even try to trust from that place. It's impossible. He says, but you have a desire to do that, though. Yes, I admit. To find trust in this personhood and to be helpful there. Okay, now he's saying rejection. What about rejection? Do we look at rejection? He says, look at the desire to ravel. I don't even know that word. In rejection. To like rejection.
Yes, to revel in it.
Oh, revel, yes. He will use English words that I've never heard of. So that's fun.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm doing it straight away. He says, yes, I'm going to have to look at that with him a lot deeper on that, to revel in rejection. The desire for that experience to be rejected, like, yeah, okay. Yeah, he says, I promise you, I am there with you.
Yeah. Get a cuddle.
Yeah. The gratitude when I can really hear clearly again is just, yeah. I'm just so grateful to be shown that I'm not this thing by myself trying to struggle every day. That I'm really being shown another way. Because the hell is like really hellish. Yeah. Yeah, just thank you.
Yeah, we thank you too, Margaret. It's so beautiful, really.
Mm.
The willingness to look together. It's beautiful. It's everything. Because all of us get to really look how he's with us all the way to we can hear his voice. That's our infinite. He promised this in A Course in Miracles, and we're hearing it. And then we're able to practice listening, speaking.
Mm-hmm.
So powerful. Thank you. And be comforted as he offers to comfort us in this. And that all's well. All's well. Love you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Jessica, did you feel to speak?
Okay, that was unexpected.
Did you hear anything, desires or anything from Jesus?
Well, it just resonates so much about it. Just, yeah, when you're not able to hear, and just, I've had experiences where, like yesterday, where I just was such a strong feeling of how I don't want it. You know, it's like, oh my God, like it's like, whew, that was just a very powerful, experience of just how much I don't want it. I don't want it. And and I could feel, it is humbling. That's humbling, because it's like, I could feel this presence underneath me on this walk home. It was like night and I was walking, and it was just this huge, like, it was just like the presence itself was saying, I love you. I love you. Like, trust me. I love you. And it was like pushing me home. It felt like my feet actually went, like I was just being carried home, and the walk felt like it took 5 minutes. And I was just crying and crying. And it was like this decision of saying like, no, like I can't, I didn't, this no. And this reassurance from Jesus of how much he loves us. So that was a very powerful experience that I'd like to share. But and the desire, to hide or feel rejected or get stuck in drama, those sorts of things. Or so I can just see a lot of that, mirrored by Marguerite so beautifully, which I really appreciate her sharing. So
Thank you.
thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
No, go ahead. Did you want to say something else?
No, that's okay. Please go. Yeah.
Really, really glad I'm glad for everyone sharing, because listen, Jesus, he's saying you're going to see this. So you need to glue yourself to him, because that you'll all of a sudden, that was happening, because I was starting to look at desires, and all of a sudden it's like no and triple, quadruple, extra special, extra scoops of ice cream. No, it's coming up. Okay. And so just be with that. Okay. And ask him, go, Jesus, is this a release? And just be with that. Is that energy it's just dumping contents. Okay. You just letting go of the no, you're really seeing it. Holy, I'm smoking, because that no is just, and just let it. So is the light impacted, or join with a buddy, or if you're not sure, but you're going to hear him. Ask him. You all can hear him well enough. Just ask, this a release, and he'll tell you. And I'll ask him, Jesus, do I just stay with this no? And he'll say, stay with the no. Can I ask for a miracle? No. Stay with the no, wash out. Okay? Because that is the miracle. The release of the subconscious desire to deny divinity is the miracle. Okay? It's just the release of the no. So that's the honesty of God. He's showing us how much we're saying no and how big the no sign is. But it's okay because he's with us the whole way. And we have each other. Thank you all for joining today. Very holy.